All right, all right. Welcome to another episode of Unlocking Your Legacy with Talking PHAt. I'm Keith Robertson, the Fin Coach. I want to thank you once again for tuning in. First of all, we give praises to the Most High, for without who we would not be here if it had not been for Him that woke us this morning. And this is, for me, it's definitely surreal. I have a friend of mine that just got out of the hospital, text me and say they discharged him from the hospital. Things happen so quick, y'all. Just like the young lady called her brother, stated she was going to commit suicide, kill herself and her kids. Wow. Mental health, it's serious. So just because someone's smiling all the time, they're always up, you still gotta, do a mental health check. Really have a conversation. It's not about fun and games all the time. Sometimes you gotta have some real conversations to really check on your friends and your family, friends, and your loved ones to make sure they're okay. But just like the story I heard not too long ago, these group of brothers, they got together and they were going on a bro trip. They went down to Vegas to have a great time. They went out beaching and having a good time, gambling, and it was having just a great time. They went to their rooms and were going to get back together for dinner. And they got a call. They got a call right before the time they were supposed to go back to dinner, and it was the hospital. And the call was, hey, we can't tell you what happened, but we need you to come down to the hospital. So when they gathered together, they realized one of the brothers, one was missing. So they went to the hospital, and the doctor came out and confirmed who they were and said, listen, your friend, he tried to commit suicide, but we were able to save him. Now, this brother, he went from there to a long recovery. But when he recovered, they all came together for dinner. And, the first question, brother, why did you do it? He said, man, I'm always smiling and I'm always happy. But I was dying inside, man. I'm always checking on somebody else and helping someone else. And no one checks on me, So check on your friends and your loved ones, guys, But I'm going to move forward into the show. Now, got a treat for you guys today. Again, as you know, Dexter Green is coming back. Firearms Instructor Dexter Green. We went out to Elizabeth City, went to North Carolina to go to where Dexter holds one of his firearms class, and we had a good time. I did a reel on it, so let me just show you a little bit.
Welcome to Talking PHAt. That's PHAt spelled PHAT, which stands for purpose, hope, and truth.
This week, part 2, Firearms Instructor Dexter Green. We were here at Chauncey's Pawn and Gun, and we were shooting PHAt. See you Thursday, 8 p.m. Be there.
All right, so what I have here is my 300 blackout. All right, I'm going to try it first on semi-automatic. I also have my suppressor right here just so I can show people what the difference is. Got it? Mm-hmm. That's the difference in full auto versus semi-automatic.
Come on.
Hi, I'm Dexter Green. I'm the firearms instructor here in Elizabeth City at Chauncey's Pawn and Gun, and I've just been shooting PHAt.
All right. Without further ado, let's bring Dexter to the stage. Firearms Instructor Dexter Green. How you doing, sir?
I'm doing fine, man. How you doing today?
Man, I'm doing well, man. I am.
Thank you.
Want to thank you for taking time out of your busy schedule once again, man, to grace us with your presence, man. We really
Yes, sir. Absolutely.
Yes, sir, brother. So we went out and I had a good time, man.
Great, man. Yeah. You and your wife?
Yeah, me and my wife, of course.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's gonna get me for that because you didn't give me a chance to say it. I didn't forget you was with us. I didn't forget you, London. I got you, baby. Yeah. But man, it's funny because a lot of people, when they think about firearms, they always equate firearms to some type of violence,
Right. Absolutely.
And the truth of the matter is like golf and some of these other kind of sports that you do. When you're out there and you're actually doing it, you don't think about nothing else but that. Just like fishing. When you fish, you think about fishing.
Yep.
And the same thing, man. Absolutely.
Yep. Yeah, man. Keith, you're absolutely right. I mean, even if you take like the NRA, right? A lot of people don't know that the NRA actually have scholarships that they send kids to school. A lot of kids in this area, I've actually had the opportunity once to, to train some kids doing some shooting competitions and, going for shooting competitions and stuff like that. Some of them went on to do stuff with the NRA and get scholarships to go to college. Like you said, it's a sport. I mean, think about it. You see it in the Olympics. You
Yeah.
know, a lot of people don't think about it like that because when you look at the news, only time you hear about guns. A lot of times, people when they hear about guns is in the news. This person been shot, especially in the Hampton Roads area. Every time you turn the news on, man got shot. 4 people got shot. 2 people got shot. So people correlate that with violence, with the guns with violence only.
Yeah, man. It's amazing that a lot of these videos too we see out here, right? One thing I really don't understand, right? You look at these Facebook videos and you see these minors with these firearms.
Mm.
I mean, I don't understand it. Some of them go to school, some of them take, of course, have taken guns to school.
Mm-hmm.
But the thing, let me ask you this: as being ex law enforcement, right? So you got a kid on Facebook, got a gun, or a group of them running around in the neighborhood. You're a resource officer. You know these kids. Why isn't anything done about that, or can anything be done?
Well, that's a great question because me with experience working as a patrol officer and a drug agent in Elizabeth City. The thing is, when I know, like my experience from doing research, you see these kids, like you said, on YouTube making music videos. See, the thing is, on there, the reason why YouTube will allow them to post some of this. Now, some of them you're seeing nowadays that they're lately they like blur it out, but there are some videos that's out there where they're not blurred out, and all they have to do is say the firearms used in this video were props. You see what I'm saying? And who's to say it wasn't at the time? You know what I mean? Now, the other question is, the answer to the other question is, how do they get their hands on them? Well, one way, mom, dad, grandma, and grandpa, they leave their guns in. They buy a gun 5 years ago or however long. They bought a gun, most people, and they don't train with the gun regularly, but they want to have a gun for home defense, self defense. So what they'll do is they'll buy that firearm. They purchase that firearm. They might take it to the range a couple times, shoot it, and then guess what? Then it goes up in the shoebox in the closet, and they forget about it. Well, here comes the grandson, granddaughter, whatever. They snoop around grandparents or mom's stuff, and they find the guns in the hiding place. Then they take it out. Either they sell it or they use it for whatever they use it for, and that's one way. Another way, what people don't understand is a lot of times, and I've made arrests on this before, where guys have had the girlfriends or significant others or whoever go in the gun store and purchase the firearm. You know what I'm saying? So because they don't want the gun to come back to them, they think the gun will be traced back to them, which it could be if they were the one that purchased the firearm, right? And depending on how far the case will go, where they need to find out, well, who purchased the firearm. A lot of times with cases when shootings occur, a lot of times law enforcement, the only thing they're looking at is the criminal act part. So they're looking for the person that actually pulled the trigger or squeezed the trigger, should I say. You know what I'm saying? Yeah.
So you're saying if in a situation where a child takes a gun and he actually commits a crime, or let's not say child, let's say this is an adult, because I think a child is a different situation.
Right.
But so the girlfriend buys a gun for the boyfriend, and the boyfriend goes out and he does some type of heinous crime.
Mm-hmm.
So the girlfriend, she doesn't have any type of, or there's no recourse against the girlfriend. The focus is only on the boyfriend in a situation like that, even though they can trace the gun back to the girlfriend.
Well, it could be. It could be. So what can happen? So normally what happens in situations like that is, let's say you got that particular situation. Boyfriend, we found some video or something like that that shows who did the shooting. Now we need to identify that person. Once we identify that person, now we need to identify the person because they committed that particular crime, right? Now, we could get ATF involved to say, okay, well, how did he get this gun if he's a felon or whatever, you know what I'm saying? Or let's say he's not a prior felon. And that comes up in the question, well, where'd you get the firearm from? You know, he said, oh man, I don't know, you know, because a friend gave it to me, you know. Well, now they could take that case, which it would be going federal. They can have a agent with the ATF trace that gun back to see where the gun was actually purchased at and who actually purchased it. So now a name comes up that we can tie him up with, which let's say we come to find out that's a girlfriend. Now she could be also, because she now a lot of times what I've seen, as soon as somebody commit a crime with that gun, that girlfriend and her jump on the phone. Oh, my gun got stolen. You know what I'm saying? They'll try to report the gun stolen, even though they know it wasn't stolen. You know, but who's to say that he didn't, you know, take it out of the house without her knowing? See, that would be, now you got to prove that. So what can happen is that person might not be held criminally, but they can be held civilly. So the family can come back and still sue her, that person, because they didn't secure the firearm the way they should have, you know.
Yeah. You know, speaking of securing the firearm, I always thought about those units personal units that have fingerprints. You know, if only you can open it up. You know, if you program it with your fingerprints and things of that nature, some type of gun, man. You know, I always thought they were good to have, because not too many people put that cable on the gun. You know, the cable that comes with the weapon.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, because you basically you make it ineffective at that point in time, right? If you got to get to it quickly, you got that cable going. Well, where's
now you got to find the key and all that stuff. So, but those safes that you're talking about, I think they call them like geometric safes, where you could use your fingerprint. They have those on. I mean, you can find them on Amazon.
Yeah. So you guys, y'all heard that, right? You got to secure these weapons.
Yeah, you got to secure, because you are responsible for, or you could be held responsible. I mean, just like the young lady that was held responsible for, you remember the case over on the Virginia side where the little boy took the gun to the school and ended up shooting the teacher in the hand and everything. So that they found her guilty, because she said at one time that the gun was secured, and then she came back, and I think they found out. I think she ended up recanting that it wasn't secured like she said it was, or anything like that. So and you can be held responsible
too, man. I mean, that was the first in
he was young. He was young
in American history. Yeah, I believe that recorded history, a child that young.
Yeah, because I think he was like 6.
Elementary school, man. That was crazy, brother. That was something. I mean, a real unfortunate situation for all parties involved, right?
Absolutely,
really.
Yeah.
You got the teacher, of course. She was damaged to a severe degree. Then the child, not understanding, his mental state even before that point in time. I think he was in some type of special class. I'm not going to say he was special needs, but he was in some type of behavioral deterrent class. And then the mother, and she got time behind that, lost her ability to towards her gainful employment, things of that nature. So definitely, man, when you have firearms, you gotta be careful. Yeah. So listen, let me ask you a question, man. So the truth of the matter, right? Someone comes in your house, you shoot them dead. You could actually go to jail for that, or be charged with some type of charge for that. Because we hear this, oh, you're supposed to go barricade yourself in the room, and if they come, but you may not be able to do that.
Right. Now, of course, it depends on the state that you're in, and what the state laws are. Most states, and I'm not going to say all states, and I don't know them all by the, off the top of my head, but most states have now a law that protects you inside your home that's called the Castle Doctrine Law, right? Which basically says, hey, you can protect yourself. This is your castle. You have the right of freedom inside your castle. And then if somebody comes in, or breaks in, should I say, in your house, and if you believe that that person that's breaking in your house is there to commit a felony in the house versus, now when I say that, this is where people get it confused, okay, Keith, and it's a big confusion between, different states where people say, oh, well, and I hear instructors tell people this right here. Yeah, if somebody breaking your house and they only there to get the TV, then you can't shoot them, versus going in more detail saying, okay, well, if somebody break in your house, yeah, you cannot use deadly force to protect your property, but you're defending yourself and your family within that and inside those four walls, right? So now, with that being said, if somebody's breaking in my house or they have broken into my house, I'm not going to sit there and ask them 100 questions. Hey man, hey, so I mean, why are you here? And you know what I'm saying? Whatever the case may be. I do have a duty, right, to protect myself, I believe, and my family, right? So if somebody came in there, okay, I definitely recommend in all my classes to have a plan. I don't care if it's a plan, just in case, like an exigent strategy, in case the house is on fire. You know what I'm saying? Have a plan. If practice that with the kids. If the fire is downstairs, how can we get out? Can we get out? Whatever the case may be. So same thing. If you have a significant other, if one person's job is to get the gun, or whoever's job it is to get the gun, then hey, have that other person on 911, so they can start recording the call. If you're there by yourself, hey, hopefully you can practice and train to keep the phone nearby, whether you put it on speaker, put it in your if you have a shirt on, or some type of way you can just keep the phone with you. Or I was going to say if the shirt had a pocket, like most people don't have shirts with pockets anymore, but just have it where you can speak, where the phone is, the speaker is picking it up. That way, if somebody comes in and you have to use deadly force to stop this person, then everything's being recorded that, hey, this person broke in. Not that you might need it, because especially if there's forced entry, because if there's forced entry, there's going to be signs of forced entry into the home. You know what I mean? But just know that don't use deadly force to protect the property. So for example, I keep saying protect property. Let's say if you look out your window and it's 2:00 in the morning and you see your interior dome light on inside your vehicle, and you're like, oh man, I can see somebody's in my car, somebody breaking in my car. So then you run outside with your firearm for your protection. Now you can protect your property, you just can't use deadly force to protect your property. All right, and like I said, a lot of people get confused with that when that's said. I'm not saying, okay, I'm outside now, I see the person in my car, get out my car. Then when you see them, you get a clear shot, you shoot them. And then when the cops get there, you say, well, they ask you, well, why'd you shoot him? Well, he was breaking in my car, he's trying to steal my car. Now you're using deadly force to protect property.
Got it.
You can't do that, okay? That's not justifiable self-defense, okay? Now, if that person came at you, or you can identify that he has a weapon and he's trying to attack you or something like that, then now, because now you're it's imminent threat of danger. Okay. Now, a lot of people say, well, why'd you go out there? Well, you got every right to go out there because you own your property. Okay. Now, if they're in your car, you might say, well, I don't feel secure enough with myself or to put myself in that danger. So I'm just going to go ahead and call the cops before I go out there and get myself in trouble. They attack me or get the best of me or whatever the case may be, you know, or take your gun from you. So that's what people need to think about. And that's why, you know, we go over this stuff in these concealed carry classes, because a lot of people think, oh, well, I got a gun and they're on my property and I was in fear of my life, so that's it. No, it's a little bit more steps to it than that, you know.
Man.
Yeah.
Yes.
One other thing I was going to say too,
Mhm.
because I hear this in every one of my classes. If you, God forbid, if you did have to shoot somebody, but if you did, and they're out there, because even if they broke in the house, okay, and let's say you took 2 or 3 shots, right, and you hit the person, it's not like the movies where they always just fall. You know what I'm saying? So they might run back out the door, okay, and then fall in the yard. If that's where they fall, that's where you leave them. You don't. The old myth is you drag them back in the house. They need to be in the house before the cops get there.
Uh-huh.
No, you can't do that. That's staging a crime scene. So you need to leave it alone, because that's what happened. Okay, so that's what that's at.
Got it, man. Got
Yeah.
it. You know, speaking of that too, you actually teach firearm defense training as well, right? If I
Right.
remember
Yeah.
correctly.
Yeah. That's one of my more advanced concealed carry courses,
Mm-hmm.
where we do different scenarios. We have a table that we can set up on the range, and I'll run different scenarios. So it might be a scenario where we're another thing is we'll stage uh, targets on the range, and then you have an active shooter that comes in. You know, just give people things to think about outside of the norm of just going to the range, standing there, shooting at a target that's not moving or anything like that. Even though these targets are not moving either, but we might set one target up where this is the bad guy, but this is a good guy behind that particular person. So, you know, just to make people think, hey, well, I just can't just be pulling out my gun and shooting, you know, because they're in here robbing the place. Do I shoot or do I not shoot? So it's more like those shoot, not shoot scenarios,
Mm-hmm.
just to make you think outside the box.
Yeah, because a lot of people don't really understand that. You know, depending on the caliber of the weapon and the type of bullet, that bullet could actually go through that person and like you say, hit somebody, an innocent bystander behind them.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because I think especially at close range, I mean, like the majority of people out there that's carrying one of your more popular rounds will probably be like I'm gonna say the 9mm. You know, there might be some people that disagree with me, but 9mm is like one of the more popular semi-automatic handgun rounds that a lot of people are using nowadays. And these rounds are moving super fast when they leave that muzzle. And depending on the person and the type of 9mm round they have in there, the round could exit the body. And remember, once you squeeze that trigger, you're responsible for where that bullet stops, not where only the first thing it hit. Again, that goes back to me. I'm gonna take it back to like home defense too. That's why I really highly recommend a shotgun for home defense. Now, like I said, a lot of people probably don't agree with that, but myself, I recommend like a shotgun. The reason why, because if somebody did come in your house and they have a gun too, and you shoot, you might hit them. There's a possibility they're going to get a shot off. There's a strong possibility that they might be able to get a shot off.
Mm-hmm.
Because 9mm and 38s and 45 caliber bullets, it's not like the movies where you hit somebody, you shoot somebody, and they fly 10, 15 feet away you know what I'm saying, like you see in these movies, you know, where a shotgun would have a more devastating blast to stop that threat immediately, faster than like a handgun round.
Mm-hmm. Got it, man. Got it. Wow.
Right.
You know, I tell you, man. Let me ask you this: if a person is looking at this podcast right now and they've been thinking about purchasing a handgun, you know, it's first time user, maybe they haven't even held a gun before. What would you recommend for that person? What type firearm would you recommend?
Well, it's a few things you need to think about when you're going out there to purchase a firearm. And I see a lot of stuff that come through my class. You know, a lot of people are going to buy. A lot of times, Keith, a lot of the main thing people think about first is the price. Okay.
Okay.
That's a big thing, you know, because I mean, there are handguns out there. I'm going to say, like, you know, semi-automatics and revolvers, probably ranging in the higher 200s, like 280 and up. You know, shoot, all the way to $1,200, you know, or higher, you know. So price. So think about your price, but don't jeopardize the quality for the price either, you know. So think about having a good gun. Now, I carry Glocks. A lot of people, oh, I don't like Glock. Then there's a lot of people that like Glock. Then you got the Smith & Wesson, you know. So there's the different models out there. But what I always look at also is the warranty. So if I purchase this firearm, right, and I spend $600-700 for this firearm, and let's say 5-6 years from now, there's some type of malfunction that goes on with this gun that I can't fix, and I have to send it back to Glock. I have a lifetime warranty on this gun. You see what I'm saying? So that's what you're paying for. You know, if they can't fix it, they send you a new gun. You see what I'm saying? Yeah. So price, one thing. Second, especially for my ladies out there, and I just had this in a class I just taught in Virginia this past Saturday. Significant others will go out and they will purchase firearms for them, and they will purchase firearms for the significant other, right? So a lot of times the men, when they buy these guns, they will buy what we call micro guns, these little small, tiny little guns for their wife or their girlfriend. The reason why is they like, oh, well, I just want to get her something I figure she can handle, blah, 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 right? Like, well, nah. Now, this is me. This is Dexter speaking. I'm not speaking for any other instructor, but I always tell men in my class, look, don't go out without your wife or your girlfriend to purchase them a firearm unless they know exactly what they wanted, right? Other than that, if you're buying it for the first time, they need to be there with you. The reason why I say that is because my wife, she goes shopping. I can't go shopping and buy her a pair of pants, right? I can't buy her.
I get it.
You see what I'm saying? I can't buy her a pair of shoes because you know, just like I know, women can go to this store and the clothes fit like this. They can go to that store and the clothes fit like this, right? Now, I know I'm a 36, 32, right? So normally, wherever I go, 36, 32. But when they need to put that gun in their hand to make sure it fits them and they're comfortable with it. Because if the gun is too small, when they shoot it, it's not going to be comfortable. They're not going to have good control over it, and it's not going to be accurate. Okay. So number one, price. Number two is how it feels in your hand. Make sure it fits good in your hand. And when I say that, you want to get the proper one-hand grip and the proper two-hand grip. Of course, you'll learn that in whatever class you take. And I would say, like, the third thing is make sure you do some research before going out there purchasing it, because you got to think about how you're going to carry it as well. Okay. So 3, make sure you do the research. 4, and when I say research, I mean on the model, you know, not the model, but the make. So like Smith & Wesson, Glock, you know, do some comparisons, you know what I'm saying? I don't always tell people, look, this is the type of gun you need. Now, when people come in, I see the size of their hands or whatever, I will make some recommendations especially for like women, like the Burst 380. They have a Burst makes a gun called a Burst of Thunder 380. I highly recommend that for certain people. Now, also the age, and I know I'm talking a lot, but
No, you good, bro.
yeah,
We need this
like
information.
it's like the age of the person too, because some people like simple, some people like the simplicity of a firearm. Well, it's not that they even like it, but I recommend it, which would be revolvers. You know, if you think about it, when we were on the range the other day, your wife, you know, she was shooting the revolver, and I could tell she was, you know, already comfortable with it just by the way she was handling it, you know, and grabbing it and holding it. She wasn't afraid of it. Like a lot of people, when they see a gun, they just like ooh, ooh, and they want to hold it with the tip of their fingers and stuff like that, like it's gonna blow up in their hand. No, she just jumped in there and grabbed it and did everything I told her. So price of the gun, size of it, make sure it fits. And one thing about the size, when you're looking at semi-automatics, because you have what they call single stack magazines and you have double stack magazines. Your single stack magazine will be slimmer. It will have a slimmer grip, and your double stack magazine on the grip, it would be wider. So you want to make sure which one fits in your hand better. Okay. Again, like I said, research and just how are you going to carry it? Now, a lot of people don't think about it because they'll go out there and they'll buy the gun, and then they get the gun home. Now they want to start carrying it like under their clothes, right? Under their garment. They want to carry it concealed. Well, now you got to think, okay, well, I need a holster. Okay. That's why I go with more your popular type guns. That's why I recommend your Smith & Wesson, your Glocks, your Springfield Armories, those type guns. The reason why is because FNs, because a lot of these not so popular guns, you won't be able to find specific holsters for these type of guns. You see what I'm saying? And so, so think about it. Also, think about the weight, because if you're going to carry conceal, and whether you're left-handed or right-handed is either going to be on your right side or your left side, you need to think about that weight that you're going to be walking around with and you're carrying it all day, because that could put strain on your back. A lot of people don't think about it like that. You know what I'm saying? And the reason why I say that, because you got a lot of guys out there that love the big 1911, 45 calibers. You know, you got heavy bullets, you got a heavy metal gun, you know, that you're carrying on that side, and it looks cool to the person. Or I mean, they some cool guns. I had a guy that was in my gun class one time, in my concealed carry class down in North Carolina. He came in there with a Springfield Armory 1911, paid about $1,200 on it, total out the door, all the upgrades that he did to it and everything. And I told him, I said, look, that's a nice gun, but that's going to be heavy. It's going to be heavy. And it was probably like maybe a week or two later, he gave me a call. He said, hey, Dexter, man, you ain't lying, man. This gun heavy. I said, man, I'm telling you, man. I said, you will start having back problems with that gun.
Oh, wow.
Look at, don't be afraid of those Glock, I call them Glock style guns with their metal on the top, but polymer plastic frame, because they are lighter and better to carry, easier to carry.
Wow, man. See, this is why we have you up here, Dexter.
Yeah.
These are some of the questions that people may have in the back of their mind. But, you know, again, you are an expert in what it is that you do, man, and you provide excellent information. And I can attest to also, because while we were there, you know, the individuals that were coming over asking you questions and how you actually had to direct, you know, a couple of the gentlemen as to what they were doing and how to do it in the proper manner, and as well as how you instructed us. You know, I know about firearms. My wife know about firearms, but hey, we listened to you, bro. Hey, we did exactly what you said. You know, and listen to you build weapons as well, right? You build ARs as well.
Yeah, I build ARs for
Let's talk about that a bit, man. What if someone wanted you to build them a gun, man? How would they go about doing that?
So what I would do, because I am a licensed I'm a federal firearms licensed dealer, um,
Mm-hmm.
here in North Carolina. So actually, I got a customer right now. I have a lower in my safe here now. I'm just waiting for some other parts because he want a custom made AR that he's going to be using for I think. I know it's going to be used for hunting. I want to say, I think he's doing coyote hunting and hog hunting. But so it just depends on what the person want and how they want it. I've built two ARs for a son and a father. The father was giving it to the son for his 21st birthday. So they had matching ARs. And I just put it, and it's really simple. It just depends on what they want.
Mm-hmm.
Some people want the cheapest thing that they can get just to say they have an AR because they're not going to be doing, a lot of shooting,
Yeah.
but then you got guys that want like some heavy duty stuff that's, and high, I want to say heavy duty, but I would say high end, like high end stuff on it, scopes, triggers, because they have the money that they want to spend on it to build, the firearm the way they want it to be, and how they want it to perform.
Got it. Got it.
Yeah.
That blackout, man, that was nice. I really
300 blackout.
really
Yeah. That 300 blackout. Yeah.
listen, I do have video from our engagement out there in Elizabeth City. We're going to put together. I'll just put that on the Facebook and YouTube page.
Okay.
Once we get that finished, edited, right?
Right.
But, man, brother, I really appreciate your time. And wow, before we go, man, let's talk about your next class, right? When are you going to be teaching a class here in Virginia, and what can the people expect to get from that class?
Right. My next class is February 22nd. It's going to be in over in Portsmouth. And I'm sorry, I don't know
Well, it's going across the bottom.
Oh, okay, yeah, appreciate it. Yeah.
It's strolling. We figured something out, y'all. We're getting there.
Yeah, I want to say it's 3026 Tyree Boulevard over there in Portsmouth.
Yeah, man. So what can the people expect from that class, man?
Now that's the actual Virginia concealed carry course. Now with me, I don't do just the regular stuff so North Carolina and Virginia is different. So when it comes, every state you go to, it could be different on how the classes are taught and what has to be be taught in the class. So in the state of Virginia, you only have really to have to go through gun safety course because they can get their concealed carry from being in the military. In the state of Virginia, if you ever served in the military, if you were an Eagle Scout,
Eagle Scout.
an Eagle Scout, yeah, because in Eagle Scouts they go through gun safety training.
Okay.
Yeah. So Virginia, North Carolina is different. North Carolina is a state mandated course. So a lot of people call me when they move down here to Virginia, like, oh, I want to North Carolina. They want to I want to get my concealed carry permit. I'm like, all right, well, this is where I teach my class. This is how long the class is. And when I tell them it's an 8-hour course, first thing they say is 8 hours. I don't want to be in there for 8 hours. Well, it's not me recommending the 8 hours. It's the state of North Carolina that sets those parameters for the course. Now in Virginia, because it is kind of basic, I try to add more to it. Now we will talk about the use of deadly force, what is justified deadly force, because a lot of people don't think, if they just point a gun at somebody, they don't understand that if you just point a gun at somebody, you have to be justified in doing that. So you're not charged, or you can be charged, should I say. So yeah, we definitely go over all that stuff just so people can have a gun understanding. When they leave there, they know what is right and what is wrong when it comes to using a firearm.
Wow, man, that's
Yeah.
that's wonderful, man. You know that you're going to be able to do that for the people, man. And let's talk about the other class too, the training, the defensive training. I'm going to put this across the screen as well. And
Mhm.
here, guys, you're going to get Dexter's number also, so you can reach out and contact him directly. You know, for the firearms training course as well as the defensive firearms training.
Mhm.
Oh, okay. Great from that. From wife asked you, what if someone needs to renew their license? She said it was a question that was
Great
in there that
question.
I missed.
Yeah,
Yeah. Hmm.
yeah, great question. So to renew your license, most states, well, I don't want to talk about most states. North Carolina and Virginia, both the 5 year, the concealed carry permit is good for 5 years once it's issued to you from the date that
Hmm.
it's issued to you. So what you want to do is you want to make sure that you renew it before it expires. You
But
know,
what
no,
happens when it expires, though? That's the question. I know why she's asking it.
I'm sorry, say that again.
Once it expires, what do you do once it expires? Do
Oh,
you have
once it
to go back through
expires,
the
yeah.
training or? Hmm.
Yeah, so once it expires, then you have to go back through another course to get your certificate again.
Hmm. Hmm.
Yeah, and then you reapply again.
Oh, you
And
have to go through the
and a
whole
lot,
process again once it expires.
yes,
Is
yes.
there any type of grace period or the day it
Um,
stops?
some states will allow you up to like 30 days after the
Hmm.
expired date if you do it within that particular time.
Hmm.
If not, then you have to redo everything.
Oh wow! So in
Yeah.
Carolina, y'all better make sure you watch that. You better
Oh
put it
yeah.
on your phone, or you going back
Yeah.
to that 8 hour course again.
Yeah, and believe it or not, this is why I tell people it's not bad if you did go back through it because you got to think 5 years, right?
Yeah,
Five
you got a
years
point.
went by. Laws change every year. That's what people don't consider,
Hmm.
right? So
Yeah.
what could have been legal last year could be illegal this year. So for a prime example, last year North Carolina changed the law where you don't have to have. So when you purchase a firearm in North Carolina, how it was you had to have either a pistol purchase permit that you get from the sheriff's office, or you had to have a concealed carry permit, right?
Mhm.
If you're a resident of North Carolina, right? So the only way you can get your concealed carry permit is to go through a concealed carry course, or you had to go and apply for a pistol purchase permit which could take up to 15 days before they issue it to you. Then once you get that pistol purchase permit, it's literally like a sheet of paper and a permit. You go into a gun store, you buy that one gun. Okay, you can buy up to, I think it was five. You can buy up to five permits at one time, right? Which was the most, and you can go and buy your handguns. Now you didn't have to use them for long guns. Long guns meaning rifles and shotguns. But for handguns, you had to have that pistol purchase permit. Well, last year the law changed where now they can either just do a NICS background check on you,
Mhm.
or you got to have a concealed carry permit. If in the state of North Carolina, if you got a concealed carry permit, it is quick and easy. You walk in there, you pick out your gun, you pay for your gun, you fill out the 4473 form, and then they take a copy of your driver's license and your concealed carry permit, and your concealed carry permit is your background check in the state of North
Oh
Carolina.
really? Oh okay.
Yep,
Okay.
yep. And then you out the door. You
Wow.
Yep. There's
Man.
no delay. So I highly recommend to all of my students well, not just my students, but people that come to my class. One of the reasons, to get that concealed carry permit is so that it can speed up the process when you're coming in to purchase a firearm.
Got it, man. Got it. Wow.
Hmm.
So again, guys, so make sure that if you want to contact Dexter, there's his number again. You know, you can reach out to him for his concealed weapons class that's going to
Yeah.
be on the 22nd here in Virginia in Portsmouth. And then, of course, if you want to get more in depth with the defensive training course, reach out to him. Is that one taught in Virginia or North Carolina, Dexter?
I teach that one in North Carolina because I need to have access to that range.
Mm.
Now I do. You can check me out on the website too. which is Delta Group Consulting LLC.net. If you go on there, then I actually have a page. If you go under courses, and you can click, it is under host a course, and then you can call me up. You can host a course. You can actually go in there and put your information in. I will contact you back, and then I will come to you and host a course. Now, for example, I'm doing a course down in Outer Banks next month, and it's just a basic course. No shooting. It's just a basic handgun course. I'm going to take some handguns down there just to go over some stuff with a group of women, and and go over, hey, this is what you look for when purchasing a firearm. I'm going to teach them proper grips, stuff like that. I'm also going to have an airsoft gun just so we can do some little proper grip training and trigger manipulation and stuff like that. Just so just to give them a little feel. Because we will be inside of a building, so obviously we can't shoot, and everybody can't just come to the range. But a lot of those courses where I do a lot of shooting and stuff like that, we're at the range at Chauncey Spawn and Gun in Elizabeth City.
Got it.
Yeah.
Well, Dexter, I'm going to call you Delta.
Yeah.
Well, look, man, I thank you once again, brother, and
Yes, sir.
Please, man, come back again and share some more insights and some information with us. I really found this informative, and like I tell you guys, Dexter is very knowledgeable about firearms, and not only the interactions in operating a firearm, but also the creation of firearms and how to actually build them. And he's a licensed firearm dealer, so you may just want to give him a call. And he'll help you from that aspect as well.
Absolutely. I give anybody information. I love to do this. Like I said, Keith had my number on there. Definitely feel free to reach out to me just if you have any questions.
Again, yeah. Hey, look, that was he gave me a cue, y'all. Put my number back up there. Yeah. Okay, Dexter. Well, listen, brother, we're definitely be reaching out to you, man. Thank you so much again for your time. And before we go, it's a prerequisite, brother. You got to give us some sauce first, right? Before you give us your closing. But you got to give us some information that once they leave this podcast, that they can put in act right now. What sauce you got for us today?
Oh, my sauce is the website. All my sauce is on that website. If they go to Delta Group Consulting LLC.net, get in there. I'm telling you, man, I'm adding more videos. I'm actually going to be adding some training videos, like 3-minute training videos, just going over some little tips and drills and stuff like that you can practice at the range as well, just to help you get better, help you get faster. And remember what I told you on the range: slow is smooth, smooth is fast. So I try to make sure people don't go on the range and just do too much too fast, because they're trying to be the next John Wick. Just take your time and learn,
Copy that, sir. Now I'm gonna take myself off the screen, Dexter. You know what's next?
Yes, sir.
I'm gonna remove myself, and you have the floor, sir.
Yes, sir. Hey, I'm Dexter Green with Delta Group Consulting, and we've just been talking fat.
Boom! He nailed it, y'all. Nailed it. All right. Hey, well, Dexter, we'll see you next time, brother. And thank you so much again. And peace and blessings to you, brother.
Yes, sir. All right, man. Have a good night.
Take care. Wow, that was informative, guys. It was really great. Dexter came and he brought us some great information. Hopefully, you guys got his information. I'm going to put his phone number up here once again before we get out of here. So if you have some additional questions or you want to find out about his concealed weapons class or some of these other technical trainings that he does, give him a call. We went out to the range with the brother, and it was just a great time, going out there shooting and having a great time. And while you're out there, it's like therapy, just because it's a weapon, it doesn't have to be violence, but you need to understand, if you have a weapon, you need to shoot your weapon. Don't have it sitting in your closet for years and not shooting your weapon. like I was doing so. But in the case, guys, look, let me thank you once again for tuning in to another episode of Talking PHAt. And remember this, please. Be kind to your brothers and sisters, because we need each other in the times that we're in now. If you can't find someone that you're like-minded with, maybe you need to change your mind, because it's time for us to come together now, because we can't do this alone. And remember, there's no fun at the top or bottom by yourself. But anyway, thank you for tuning in to another episode of Unlocking Your Legacy. I am Keith Robertson, the Fin Coach, your host. I'll see you next Thursday at 8 o'clock. And remember, action of knowledge leads to power. Peace and blessings. See you next time. And we're out.